And I got on there and I said, I just got fired like 20 minutes ago. I might have shared this on the show before, but for anybody who hasn't heard this, a few years ago, I was working for a different company before Scaled, and CEO called me up one day and fired me. In the state of Florida, there's no law saying that he has to give me a reason for it. I kind of knew the minute it was him plus HR on, and that was that. It's a very small company, and even my former at that point coworkers reached out to me privately and said, "We have no idea what happened." So, well, that makes several of us then, because I have no idea what happened, right? And look, things happen or whatever. I'll tell you what I did that day that changed the course of my current life. At the time, this was COVID era. Clubhouse was a huge app, an audio only app, and lots of people are on Clubhouse. I was in areas because I primarily did when I started at Scaled for the first 2 years, I did all LinkedIn strategies. So I have a lot of experience in that area. Taught it to dozens upon dozens of sales teams about LinkedIn strategy, how to use LinkedIn correctly. Anyway, I say that to say that I was in a Clubhouse room about LinkedIn strategy. And I get on there, and if you remember on Clubhouse, you could get invited to the stage, right? And so I raised my virtual hand, and I knew the people who were doing it. And I got on there and I said, I just got fired like 20 minutes ago. It just so happened to be right before Clubhouse. I said, I just got fired 20 minutes ago. Number one, first thing that happened and that I would put out to anybody who is suffering right now is you're not alone. You've got people around you who don't even know you, who love you. One of the first things that was said to me by this guy, Liam, is he said, Brian, don't take this on as it's your fault. Things happen that are outside of your control. And I don't want you to sit here 10 minutes into this while your head is clearly spinning. And you're sharing this publicly. That feels shameful, right? There's no shame in this. It happens or whatever. Me and Liam do not we're not friends. We just knew each other from Clubhouse, but he was kind enough to say that immediately. And then what immediately happened is people started saying, well, like, you've been in here, Brian, you've been sharing what you know about LinkedIn strategy. Cut to, I was hired by somebody named Mackenzie at Scaled, my current company, and I never gave a resume. They never asked for a resume. In fact, at some point in the hiring process, I said, don't you guys want a resume? And this guy, Matt, who I still work with, who is part of the hiring, said, why would we want a resume? We can see everything we want to know about you and what you're about on LinkedIn. It tells us everything we want to know. What would a resume add to that we couldn't get already from it? And in fact, it's more valuable.